from Atlanta, home of Unity 94. This is Unity News Now.
Hello and welcome to Unity News Now. I'm Marco Montoya.
And I'm Angela Wood. Our top story, the Atlanta Braves are out. At least their name is, according to the board at Unity 94. Today, officials unanimously passed a resolution to stop using culturally offensive nicknames, such as Braves and Redskins, when talking about sports teams. Some people don't think this is a big issue. A spokesperson for the Atlanta Braves says the team names are used to display bravery. But Unity President Paul DeMaine doesn't understand how they're honoring Native Americans.
Someone's honoring us like the Kansas City Chiefs. They don't need to get all their players to dress up in outfits and try to look like Indians and wear feathers. Some of these things that people wear are very sacred, very oriented toward their clans, toward their culture.
The Atlanta Braves stopped using their mascot, an Indian wearing a feather, but the team says they'll continue to use the tomahawk as a symbol.
And speaking of the Braves, the use of that name and other Native American names prompted a lively panel discussion at the WCC. Unity News Now reporter Ray Rice was there.
Every year, thousands of Atlanta fans come to Atlanta Fulton Stadium to cheer on the league-winning Atlanta Braves. To some journalists, the name Atlanta Braves is unacceptable and culturally offensive. That's why writer Wilda Wapapi of the Oregonian newspaper led a drive to heighten sensitivity over the issue at her paper.
Why are the news pages treated one way and the sports pages treated another way? I'm not sure that I understand that. I'm not sure that they've asked themselves those questions. That's what I want to see happen here.
The cultural sensitivity toward Native Americans is one which has dominated discussions at Unity 94. Among them was a panel today designed to give heightened attention to the issue that Indians are people, not mascots.
When one Native person then stands up and says, you know, this hurts me, this doesn't make me feel good, it's jarring to the rest of the public because it's become a cultural norm all of a sudden. It's become accepted that we do these kinds of things.
American Indians will try to keep their fight in the spotlight this Friday night when they plan to hold a protest at the Atlanta Braves game. It's Ray Rice in Atlanta for Unity News Now.
One of today's main events was a jam-packed luncheon featuring former Atlanta Mayor Andrew Young. Young visited today to talk about the struggle journalists of colors face. But as Unity News reporter Derek Dennis tells us, the struggle today pales in comparison to the days of Young. Derek?
Thanks, Angela. Former Atlanta Mayor Andrew Young remembers well the barriers he faced during the civil rights movement. And in his lunchtime address to nearly 5,000 journalists, Young pointed out the social strides that so many of us take for granted.
Because of the changes of the civil rights movement, because of the progress made in the areas of journalism, you are here in such great numbers that we almost don't have a room adequate to receive you.
Young's remarks echoed throughout the cavernous Georgia World Congress Center banquet hall, but amid the noise, attention focused on today's problems towards tomorrow's progress.
We haven't ended racism. We haven't established world order. We have fulfilled Martin Luther King's dream. Where do we go from here?
Young points to the uncertain future for the answer. He hopes the theme of Unity 94 will act as a catalyst for everyone to begin celebrating diversity as individuals and as a collective group.
Even when we don't know what the future holds, we are supposed to know who holds the future.
The former mayor and former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations brought his worldwide experience to the convention, and his speech was one which pricked the consciousness of not only the journalists there, but their employers as well. Angela, Marco?
Thanks, Derek.
Thanks, Derek. Reaction to the former Atlanta mayor's speech is generally positive. Those in the overflow room were impressed by Young's message.
Sometimes you feel that your aspirations are so big that they're not obtainable. But from what he was saying is it's okay to have aspirations and that those aspirations can be fulfilled. All it takes is moving one day at a time.
I got that he now has an intense fervor for this whole economic issue and that he feels so strongly about it. He was able to speak without notes.
I think one of the main points was that a lot of progress had been made. And I think the fact that this function is taking place indicates that a lot of progress has been made.
In addition to today's speech, Young will speak at the National Association of Black Journalists General Session on African Americans and the Olympic movement.
Unity 94 got more than what it anticipated, and today's luncheon featuring Andrew Young suffered as a result. Thousands of journalists packed the stairwells and hallways leading to the convention hall that housed the luncheon. The doors were kept closed because catering was trying to accommodate an anticipated 2,000 guests. A representative from catering says there was only a 10-minute delay, but people waiting to get in say it was longer.
Many issues concerning people of color will be discussed all this week. Among them is how minorities receive sensationalistic coverage. Over 100 people crowded into a room today to hear why people of color are seen as criminals. The Time magazine cover shot of O.J. Simpson in a darker shade was another example of creating a false image.
Do that. O.J. Simpson ceased to be O.J. Simpson, the individual, and he became a symbol of this menacing black male that we hear so much about.
I think it's almost an unconscious situation. I think if there is any sin, it's the sin of negligence. It's the fact that there are only white men sitting in that room.
The panel discussing media coverage on the O.J. Simpson case caused the most heated discussion of the convention so far. But as Kelly Minor reports, many journalists say race played a role in how the Simpson case was reported.
In the middle of the night, Sunday, June 12th, someone or somebody killed Nicole Simpson Brown and her friend Ronald Goldman. Someone. And in a few hours, police were looking at O.J. Simpson as the main suspect. For the rest of the week, media scrutiny of the case was intense, leaving many African Americans with the feeling that O.J. was not being treated fairly by the media. Leon Carter of NABJ's Sports Task Force says the chase along the California freeways was the most vivid and negative image he recalls.
For the most part, some people feel that he's already been tried and convicted in the media. And I think we can do a better job in handling this case.
Some black journalists feel that the wide coverage of the Simpson case has altered the way we view black men. The debate over the media coverage was intensified even more when Time magazine printed this enhanced cover shot. However, Newsweek published Simpson's mugshot without darkening his face. Sports writer Daryl Richards of the Dallas Morning News says O.J. would have been treated differently if he were white.
I have mixed feelings about it. One thing that makes the O.J. Simpson case very interesting is the fact that usually you find out, and this is of course presuming O.J. is innocent, you find out about a suspect after. We know all about O.J. before.
The O.J. Simpson case is far from over, but it's hoped media outlets already learned a valuable lesson: the necessity of more sensitivity in the coverage of minority cases. For Unity News Now, I'm Kelly Minor.
And since the O.J. Simpson case has been the hot topic of controversy, Unity 94 organizer will present Problems of Portrayal. It begins at 1 o'clock Saturday at the Westin Hotel.
Here in Atlanta, it's another blow for all those who honor a sacred symbol of the South. Joining us now is Unity reporter Diane Matsuo with the details of the latest controversy involving the Georgia state flag.
Thanks,
Diane.
Angela. The Holiday Inn hotel chain is the latest business choosing not to display the state's official banner.
Well, it doesn't offend me. I don't know about other people.
It's an irritant. It stands for racism, slavery, and kidnapping, oppression, everything else.
The Georgia state flag is back in the limelight. The Holiday Inn decided this week to stop flying the flag at their corporate headquarters, but people are still pouring into the hotel despite the ban.
We felt it was the right thing to do in the view that some people felt that it was offensive.
The hotel's decision comes as a welcome surprise to those who have been fighting for a new flag, but with little success.
Sometimes the political agenda moves the corporate community. Other times the corporate community moves the political agenda.
The protest over the Confederate flag has lasted for years. Critics say it symbolizes slavery and white dominance. Others argue it's a Georgian institution.
I think that it is a historical thing, and particularly having come from the North, I think it's very interesting that it does point out the history.
But many just can't understand why something so offensive to African Americans continues to fly.
Here you have educated people, presumably democratic-minded people, in 1994, willing to continue to wave the flag of slavery. It should be an embarrassment, and it should disgust every American.
The city of Atlanta actively refuses to fly the flag, but only the state legislature can change it.
The call to take down the flag has already been sent to the state legislature, where it's been defeated. Other states with flags that also have Confederate bars are reviewing their flag policy.
Now, Diane, has the Georgia state flag always featured the Confederate bars?
Well, Angela, the answer to that is no. It was changed in 1956, and this was done in defiance to integration.
Thanks, Diane.
Some of the journalists gathered this week will be recognized for their outstanding work, but two news organizations will be getting a different type of recognition. Today, the National Association of Black Journalists announced the winners of its annual Thumbs Down Award.
We feel that these two Thumbs Down Awards are not only consistent with the mission of NABJ, but also consistent with the mission of this larger unity convention of which we are a part.
NABJ board members give the award to news organizations they feel have intensive treatment and coverage of blacks. This is the second year in a row the New York Daily News received the award.
Up next, we'll look at the real reason why most journalists are attending the Unity 94 convention.
Stay with us.
Growing up, Yvette Ortiz dreamed of making a difference, but she soon learned all her intelligence and determination weren't enough to make it come true. She needed more. Anheuser-Busch believes everyone deserves a chance to realize their dreams. That's why for the last 10 years, they've been the leading supporter of the National Hispanic Scholarship Fund, because helping people like Yvette means helping so many more.
Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak miraculously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so, I rise, I rise, I rise.
Please support the United Negro College Fund.
It's arguably the most popular feature of the Unity 94 convention. Thousands of people are visiting the job fair, jockeying for position, hoping to favorably impress recruiters. It's Darwin's theory in action, survival of the fittest. Unity 94's Lorena Pulido has the story.
Everyone is shopping for jobs.
I'm just feeling everything out. I'm just looking around who's looking for people, what sort of positions are open.
Well, I'm happy to see that there's so many recruiters out here, and glad that for the first time they're like not saying, well, you're underqualified, or you need more of this, you need more of that.
Hundreds of recruiters from TV, radio, and print are looking for qualified minority journalists.
We are looking for people who are good producers, good reporters, good researchers, good bookers. I work for NBC News and I work at Dateline NBC, and we need all kinds of people who are good, hardworking news journalists.
As with most newspapers, I think we're very good on minority hiring, but I always think we could be better. We need to reflect the diversity of our community.
For job seekers, this looks like the most popular event at Unity 94. Many journalists hope to get their first big break in the business. Others are seasoned veterans who are looking for new challenges.
Don't
Don't miss out on a chance to meet your future employer. More than 400 recruiters might be looking for someone just like you. Drop off your resume. You never know. A job offer might be in the cards for you. Lorena Pulido for Unity 94.
The Unity 94 Job Fair runs through Saturday on the Georgia World Congress exhibition floor.
Now, if you have any questions about your broadcast resume tape, Unity 94 is where you'll find answers. Television networks, TV stations, and news consulting firms are on hand to offer expert advice. News Director Dean Daniel knows what he hopes to find in a tape.
Probably the first thing is I look for somebody who looks at ease, because I think if you're comfortable with the environment, you can communicate a story. Probably the second most important thing is that somebody looks like they know what they're talking about, because generally that means that they do know what they're talking about.
Daniel says a resume tape is only one aspect of landing a job. Strong writing skills are important too. Although there are no set rules, news directors agree on the basic elements of a good tape. Many say well-executed stand-ups using your best video and strong writing produce the best results.
While many young women are learning the do's and don'ts of the business, others are discussing what happens once you make it inside the newsroom. Some women of color say in the newsroom they're fighting two battles, race and gender.
I think the very common ground is that we are all outsiders in the newsrooms. We are probably mostly dealt with in the same way by the dominant white male culture.
CNBC reporter Sheila Steinbeck says women of color must learn to work together because the obstacles they face really aren't that different. The panel discussion on race, gender in the newsroom takes place Friday at 2 p.m. in room 313 and room 314 at the Georgia World Congress Center.
Just when you had gotten used to Barney the Dinosaur's singing, dancing, and feel-good message, now get ready for a new show being introduced by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. The show uses an interesting way to teach children racial tolerance. It's called Puzzleworks, and it features 6 puppets from various ethnicities who show how to appreciate and understand each other's unique background. The show's creator says it's important to reach out to kids to prevent problems later in life.
We hope it affects children in that they have a sense of who they are. They have a sense of self-esteem, self-respect, and therefore have a feeling of respect for others and a desire to work with others instead of shooting each other up.
Race and diversity can be heavy topics for preschoolers, but the show aims to be fun and energetic. Puzzleworks is scheduled to air next January on PBS.
At Unity 94, convention recruiters are looking to hire from among thousands of journalists. But there's one booth on the convention floor that's looking to do more than hiring. The National Marrow Donor Program is looking to save lives, and they need more people of color to be tested.
We need to reach those minority groups, those people of color, which are underrepresented in the registry, so we can provide transplants for all people.
We're searching for close to 2,000 every day. They're looking for marrow matches every day throughout the country.
If you would like to be a bone marrow donor, you can call 1-800-526-7809. Angela?
Up next on Unity News Now, a look at possibly the hardest working conventioneers at the Unity 94 conference.
And later in the show, we'll test your knowledge about the meaning of each organization's official logo.
Happy birthday to you. 生日快樂。維護民主自由，請即登記投票。電話請打415-397-8133。
A child is sacred, and when that child first comes into the home, the family must welcome it. And if the child is happy and feels the want, he will come into this world very, very strong. And not to know that is to know nothing.
Help preserve traditional Native cultures by supporting the 29 American Indian colleges.
For lots of journalists, Unity 94 offers a great chance to network with fellow professionals to learn and understand each other. But what about having some fun? People packed events like the NBC reception to make important contacts in a more relaxed atmosphere.
I'm here to see old friends, learn something, and have some fun.
I'm sorry I missed the seminars that were today because those sounded really interesting. So tomorrow I plan to start at 8 and go all the way through, and then Friday I'm not responsible.
Convention goers are finding out Unity 94 is a place where you can truly mix business with pleasure. Later in the show, we'll have a rundown of the many events that you can enjoy. Angela?
This year's Unity Job Fair has attracted hundreds of recruiters looking for experienced journalists of color. With over 6,000 people to choose from, a recruiter doesn't have to look too far. But veterans in this business say it wasn't always like this. Joseph Boyce of the Wall Street Journal says he remembers how minority journalists were chosen for jobs. They were selected because of their color and not for their qualifications. But things have changed.
Or Latino or Latina, or whether they're African American, they've made a conscious decision and they train for it, and it's much, much harder to turn them away. And they're probably, very, very well prepared to enter the market and make a contribution. Thank you.
So now, for young people of color, getting into the business is different. People like Joseph Boyce have paved the road to a future in journalism.
Some of you may be wondering how the Unity News Now gets on the air. Well, behind the scenes, there are lots of professionals who have donated their time to aspiring journalists at the convention. Here's more on the story now from Erica Seaborn.
The field of broadcasting is very competitive for all races. However, people of color experience an even greater challenge. Unity News Now, the Unity 94 student television project, is offering an invaluable opportunity for students of color. Reporters and producers from television stations from all across the country have united as one to help students have the ultimate challenge: putting together a daily news show. These professional journalists are using their vacation time to help broaden and enlighten students' perspectives about TV news broadcasting. Mike Dunstan, a professional reporter in Dayton, Ohio, strongly feels that he is helping make a major difference in these students' lives.
In a way, maybe we are underestimating some of the students' abilities, but hopefully students are being vocal and telling us what they can do and what they want to do.
Other journalists assisting with this project fear that the students will benefit in more ways than one.
The students who are here are learning valuable lessons under pressure. They're learning what it's really like to be in a newsroom, what it's really like to be under a deadline, and what it's like to try to get a story in that you aren't ready to put on the air. It's a great experience. It's something that I don't think they will soon forget.
Steve Malave, associate producer at WNBC in New York, feels that students in this pressure position should not try to peak too early or get overly anxious, but to ripen like fruit. Students who were chosen to participate in this prestigious event not only have the chance to learn more about their field, but they also have the wonderful opportunity to meet great people. I'm Erica Seaborn, reporting for Unity News Now.
And professionals from NPR and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting also gave up their time and talents to help students in the Unity radio project, the Unity Voice. Portions of the students' work are scheduled to air on some national public radio broadcasts. And seasoned pros also lent a hand at the student newspaper project, the Unity News. Major funding for this project came from Cox Enterprises.
They're certainly colorful, but what do they mean? When we come back, how well do you know your official Unity 94 logos?
Growing up, Yvette Ortiz dreamed of making a difference, but she soon learned all her intelligence and determination weren't enough to make it come true. She needed more. Anheuser-Busch believes everyone deserves a chance to realize their dreams. That's why for the last 10 years, they've been the leading supporter of the National Hispanic Scholarship Fund, because helping people like Yvette means helping so many more.
Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so I rise, I rise.
Where there are conventions, there are parties. Tomorrow night, the National Association of Black Journalists will host its annual W.E.B. Du Bois Banquet, followed by a party. It all starts at 7 at the Westin Hotel. The Noche de Triunfos banquet, put on by the National Association of Hispanic Journalists, goes on from 7 to 9:30 at the Hilton. The Asian American Journalists Association will host a gala banquet at the Hilton. That starts at 7:30. And the Native American celebration will take place at the Radisson starting at 9:30 tomorrow night.
Convention celebrations and events don't end there. On Saturday, the fourth and final plenary, Journalists of the Future, will start at 10 a.m. in Exhibition Hall C. And for one more night, festivities will continue with a Unity closing celebration. It happens at the Atlanta Underground from 8 to 10 p.m. A post-reception by the Asian American Journalism Association will start at 4 at the Ritz-Carlton. Journalists attending Unity 94 are optimistic about its purpose and its goal, and reaction has been mostly positive.
I think this is just a fantastic opportunity for everyone to meet so many different people from so many different backgrounds, all for one purpose, and that is to get to know one another better and to do something better to improve the whole business of journalism.
We do tend to stick in cultural pockets, you know, little groups of Asian Americans here and African Americans here, and I think it would be much better if we all did unify instead of going to our own separate things.
Though there seems to be something here for everyone, from exhibits to seminars to the ever-popular job fair, there still are those who say they would change some things if they could. But overall, most people seem glad to be part of this historical event.
Finally tonight, what about those colorful Unity 94 logos? That seems to be everywhere on the convention floor. All four groups represented by one symbol. The Unity 94 logo speaks for itself. You've seen the Unity trademark everywhere, but what does it mean? Members from the National Association of Hispanic Journalists say they don't know why the ñ was chosen, but some were willing to guess.
Maybe because a lot of people, like, they'll see like Munoz, and it's supposed to be Munoz, and they'll say Munoz, you know. Maybe it's an education tool.
My particular symbol? Now this is a trick question, I know. No, I don't know what it means, no. I really don't.
The Asian American Journalists Association symbol is the lotus blossom, a respect that represents sensitivity, and rounding out the Unity emblem is the NABJ symbol. That represents royalty.
That's all for this edition of Unity News Now.
Be sure to join us again Friday night for the latest news from the Unity 94 convention. Take care.